Okay, and hello, welcome to my tutorial. In this tutorial, we're gonna build a really simple game of rock, paper, scissors, Spock Lizard in pure JavaScript. Please check my GitHub account for the complete source code. You can find link in the description. We are gonna use vanilla JavaScript, HTML, CSS for this game. So yeah, let's get started. First, we need to set up a project folder. Please create a folder for the game. Let's go to Documents and make dir game. Let's step into it. Okay, game, fine. Now we want to add 3 empty files to it. Let's do it with touch, index.html, index.css, and index. Okay, and index.js. Great. Okay. Now we want to open these files to edit them. I'll use VS Code for this. You can run VS Code and use that to run it in the local folder. Now you want to put some text in your index.html file. Let's start with HTML. Now we need head. Okay, fine. And let's add title for it. It would be key. Now we want to add body. Fine. And I think we can save it. Don't forget to save file periodically. And yeah, we can run this in browser just by running index.html file. So we want to run it on a local computer and yeah, run it in Chrome or whatever browser you prefer. Use inspect just to check that everything there. Yeah, fine. Now let's create a user section. We'll create at the top of it span with your choice. Okay, and we want to add input element to actually choose between options of the game. So we want to create a wrapper div for it, and I will use div for every choice. And yeah, input with type radio, ID would be 1, and name would be option. And yes, we also need a class to select all of them. So we add class user option. And we'll add also label with emoji instead of text to make it visually more attractive. And don't forget to add for. Okay, for and use ID. I know. And let's add more options. Fine. Now we can create a section for computer choice with element that would store a computer option. It would be computer choice ID, and it would be cloud for emoji by the default. And now you want to add play button. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It would be just button with ID play and emoji play inside of it. And also want to add element for the game result. It would be div with output as it ID. And yeah, now looks fine. Now we want to add script element to add our index.js file here. So use type text JavaScript, and source would be index.js file. It is in the same folder. Good. Good. Also, we need to add a file with styles. We'll use link for it with rel style sheet and link to our local index.css file. Great. Let's flip over to our index.css file. We just want to increase font for this game to make it easier to read. Let's use font size, and it would be 42 pixels. Fine. And we can go to index.js file. Yes. We need a function to return a random number in range of 1 to 5 for computer choice. We would name it get computer choice, and it should look like this one. We'll return mass.floor and use mass random multiplied by 5 because we have 5 options plus 1. Yeah, looks good. And yeah, now we want to add some consts that we'll use later, and just put them right after the function that we just created. Yeah. Also, we need options. We'll use it to map IDs to const that we just created. Now we need to add options to emoji object. We'll use it for output for computer choice. It would be just emojis. Okay, good. Now we want to store user input somewhere. Let's create a variable for that. We'll create user choice ID. It will be empty string at the beginning. And we want to add even listeners for user input when page is loaded. To do that, we should write our function for unload, and we need an element to output results. Will be const output query select, yes, and we'll use hashtag output. Good. Now we want to add elements to handle user input. So first we would select elements by class. So we would use query selector and use user options class. User options. Okay, good. We'll run user options for each and add even listeners for them. In this even listener, we want to change user choice ID to the ID of the element that was clicked. Fine. And user choice ID equal to event.target.id. Now we want to add event listener to the play button. Let's create a variable for play button element first. It would be const play button equal to document query selector, and we use id play that we used before for play element button. And let's add event listener for it. We'll put our game logic inside this function. And yeah, let's collect all the information that we need to determine the winner. We need a computer and a user choice. Let's start with computer choice ID. We get a result from the computer choice function that we created before. It will return us a number between 1 and 5, including both of them, and we'll map on this computer choice ID to an option first, and we want to also update computer choice computer choice output element. So we'll create a variable to store this element first. And we'll create a variable to store output element. Now we want get user choice option, so we will use options object that we created before with user choice ID, and we want to create a variable to store result. And now we can output computer choice. We'll use computer choice element dot inner HTML, and it would be equal to options to emoji with key computer choice ID. Okay, good now. Now let's write logic to determine a winner. We'll use switch for that. Don't forget to add a default case. You can stop the video to understand it better or look at the source code. Basically, we have four situations where it's tie, computer win, user win, or there's something wrong, and we just want to say that there's something wrong. Yes. And yeah, now we can output result. So we'll use output element that in HTML equal to result. Okay, let's have a look at the code just to check that everything is fine. Okay, I see that we have don't select all elements. We should fix this. And good. Okay, we see that output is unused. So okay, I see. Oh, yeah, we can do it. Fine. Let's save and go to our browser to check the result. Okay, it looks better. Now, if we select something and click play, okay, it seems to work. Try, fine. Okay, good. Win, try. And yeah, okay, we can restart. Okay, if you don't select anything, you'll see that something wrong. Yeah, it's really good to have this to indicate that it's not totally broken. Yes, and yeah, that's it. Now you can play in a game's computer. There's plenty of cool ways to improve this simple game. You can include a score, you can add animation. Once again, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. If you have any questions regarding the code, please leave a comment. I'll make sure to get back to you with help. And yeah, thanks for watching.